Hello, comic book guys and gals, and welcome to Comic Mag Musings. This guy's your host, Bill Miller. Something extremely odd happened over the holiday season. I was visited by the comic community's number one rascal, ne'er-do-well, and rapscallion. This guy.
Got a lot of money. Yeah, 600 somehow. Yeah, but I'm sitting there looking. I just wanted to see.
All right, here we go.
Oh my God. Got 2 cards in the middle that was entertaining.
You'll never know who you'll find in Dreadnought Comics. Yes, indeed. Man Cave Comics came to the desert and was kind enough to contact me, and we got to spend some time together. I got to meet his lovely wife. We had a nice lunch, and then I took Man Cave around to 4 different comic book shops in the West Phoenix area. There are a lot, but Phoenix is a very big city, both population-wise and area-wise, and you can spend an hour driving from one end to the other end. So some of them on the east side, and in the south, particularly southeast, we didn't go to those. But we went to 4. He seemed to really enjoy himself. I enjoyed finally getting to meet him in person. I've only met one other community member in person, and that's the 88 Jester, who lives also in the Phoenix area. I met him once as well. So it was a treat to get to meet someone with whom I've spoken to so many times, both on live streams and in chats and things like that. So again, thank you, Man Cave Comics, for contacting me, giving me the opportunity to get together with you. It was a great bit of fun. So there are a couple little books that I picked up. Man Cave was able to pick up some books at each of the stops, I think, that we made. I picked up a few. I generally don't go to comic book stores. I might go 2 or 3 times a year. Particularly, I don't collect too many modern comics, so that's one reason. And also, a lot of the comics that I do collect, whether they're bronze or silver, I want in pretty high grade, or I want Golden Age books. And Phoenix is not a good area for high grade silver in particular, and Bronze Age books, or any Golden Age books. It's just too new, right? We became a state, the 48th state, Arizona did, on Valentine's Day in 1912. So it hadn't been around that long. And Phoenix was not a populous city for a long time. It wasn't really until home air conditioning was accessible and affordable that Phoenix really started to rapidly grow. And so that was really in the 60s. You started seeing some growth. And then in particularly, probably the 90s through this point, Phoenix just been growing like crazy. But the people that are that are moving here, they're not bringing Golden Age comic book collections with them, right? So there weren't a whole lot of people in here during the actual Golden Age, from the 30s through the 50s. So you're not going to see a lot of original owner collections here. And the people that move here, they're loading up furniture, they're trailering cars, they're loading up things like that. They're not loading up their comic books. They're selling their comic books in New York or Wisconsin or Detroit or Alabama or North Carolina, and then using those proceeds to help them move here. But they're not moving here with those comic books. It just doesn't happen. So the Golden Age you're going to see here are usually comic books that were purchased on the internet or something of that nature. So I'm saying this because that's the reason why the comic book shops don't have a whole lot of appeal for me. The things that I'm usually looking for the most part, they don't happen. There are some exceptions, particularly with some of the Bronze Age comic magazines that I'll hit a comic book shop every now and then that I know has some good prices on them. But aside from that, I generally don't go. But Man Cave and I had a really good time. And I'll show you just a handful of pickups that I got while we were on our excursion to the comic book shop. So first we have Weird Western Tales, issue number 22. This is from 1974. Cover art by the great Luis Dominguez. And I picked this up because it is a 50-cent comic. So I got this in a 50-cent bin. So I don't think if I don't have this raw, I'll hang on to it. If I do, I'll go ahead and sell it. But I thought it was a good price, and so I picked it up. Similarly, not for the same price, but we have The Punisher magazine, issue number 3. And this is from 1989. Cover art by James Sherman. Now this is, where's it at? Right there? Yeah, so this is got some serious damage. A missing piece right here and then some tears right there. But it is complete, and it was $1, and I thought that was a good enough deal. So I'll probably hang on to this and at least read it. And I figure that's good enough for that. And this was also $1. I have it, but it's tough for me to pass up The Savage Sword of Conan for $1. And this is issue number 166. Also from 1989. Cover by Dorian. This has a pinup by Fred Carrillo. And it's in decent mid-grade, you know, like a 5.5 to a 6.5, somewhere in there. I figured for $1, yeah, I'll pick it up. All right. And then this one I paid $5 for at a different shop. This is Bizarre Adventures, issue number 26. This is from 1981. Cover art by John Bolton. And this has the Demon in a Silvered Glass Cole story. That's why I picked it up. It's in pretty good shape too. 7.0 to an 8.0. Not a great deal, but I think $5 is fair for that. All right, so those were my pickups. And then Man Cave was kind enough to get me a few comics. He suggested this one as a really good modern read. It's called Hello Darkness. This is issue number 1. It's from 2024. You know Man Cave and his love of moderns. Written by Garth Ennis and others. Cover by Paulo Rivera. And it's an anthology series. And he also got me issue number 2. And this is the A cover. Interior art by Becky Cloonan and others. And it contains horror/suspense stories. So I'm looking forward to checking out the first 2 issues. And he also got me this comic. Issue number 1 of Haunted Love from 1973. Written by Joe Staton. Cover art by Tom Sutton. I think he says this amorous fellow here in a title of Romance and Horror somehow kept reminding him of me. So it is an interesting title, the first in the series, and I'm excited to have that. So thank you again, Man Cave Comics. All right, and lastly, since he came during the holiday break, I'll show you the one comic book I did get for Christmas that Santa and Mrs. Musings got for me. And it's Weird Fantasy issue number 21. So very excited about that. Weird Fantasy number 21, EC Comics, September to October of 1953. Bill Gaines and Al Feldstein stories. Orlando Williamson, Kamen and Severin art. Al Williamson and Frank Frazetta cover. Ray Bradbury adaptation. This is a CGC 5.0 with cream to off-white pages. So this is one I did not have, and that I'm super excited to have. Particularly anything with Frazetta cover art. And on the back, you can make big money, count me in, with fast-selling, not American Seeds, but warm Mason leather jackets. Boy, oh boy. You would be the talk of the town in one of those sweet-ass jackets, wouldn't you? And if you're the one selling them, you're everybody's best friend. So, Weird Fantasy, issue number 21, and that will do it for our visit from Man Cave during the holidays. I hope you enjoyed seeing it, and if you did, I would encourage you to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when I drop new content. Thumbs up and comments are always appreciated. Remember, we're taking over the world one comic book at a time.